Well, good morning, everyone. How you doing? James Slim Overton here, and welcome to the Slim Nation One-on-One Podcast with Just Slim. And I am your host, but more importantly, I am your friend. This is a Thursday morning chat, not a long chat, but just wanted to come on and say we have to learn how to live our lives, especially as we get older, as we become senior citizens like myself. You get into those 60s, you start receiving letters from those retirement people at the age of 50, way before you probably even thinking about retiring, most of us. But anyway, once you get in those 60s and we work way past those, but you start thinking about retirement, or you're already prepared to retire. And that's when should start living our best lives. A lot of us are prepared for that or have prepared for that. And many of us are not, which is the reason sometimes we have to work much longer than we had intended on working, which is all good if you still have the stamina, the good health. You can do it, even if it's something that you're forced to do. Sometimes you have to do it. But anyway, you still have to live your best life. You just can't give in to age because many in society say it's time to sit down and be quiet. You still are relevant, or you still should feel like you're relevant. And the way to do that is to stay involved. Stay involved in your community, in the city activities. If you still want to serve on boards and commissions, nothing says there's no age limits on that as long as you have the mental capacity and the stamina to get up there and serve. Uh, why not? Should be able to do that. And excuse me, just for a minute, I had to watching these different streams and making sure it's coming out to people. Um, anyway, nothing says that you have to just sit down and retire all the way. You still have a long life to live. And nothing says, like myself, getting into this social media thing with the Slim Nation podcast and YouTube channels and things like that. And the Portion of Coffee Talk, which started like 3 years ago and will continue back up in August. It was something that most people that are becoming content creators are much younger, and a lot of us are much older because it gives us a platform to speak, to have something to say, or to feel relevant, to bring on guests in my case and have a conversation with them. And it's always still room for improvement on my presentation, improvement on video quality and all that, but mostly working on self, uh, trying to be a more effective interviewer without the professional training, uh, not trying to be on that level because it takes a certain amount of training and education to be a professional at this thing. But the way social media have given us an opportunity, a lot of us have taken advantage of getting involved with this and doing it on an amateur level. and hopefully making a difference with some people, or having conversations with different people that you might not necessarily hear from on a normally, and hopefully whatever they share with me and you, the audience, is something that can be useful to you, or people that you know, family members or friends that might be going through something as far as mental health is concerned. So, especially with Puss and Coffee Talk, we bring on those professionals, and we have co-hosts on there that are seasoned in certain areas. Leah Dre Stipp and Thomas the Colonel Chapman, who are seasoned in certain areas. The Colonel in a 36-year career, uh, Army nurse, retired as a colonel. Leah, several trips to Africa and many other countries, several different opportunities to work with different people. At one time in the Virginia legislation, uh, as a assistant, or ran the office for Delegate Ken Melton. You can't beat those experiences that people bring to the table, especially on Portsmouth Coffee Talk. So when we bring on guests, we are constantly learning from them, even though we have been around a long time and learned a lot and experienced a lot. You never stop learning. So you continue to live your life, and don't just sit down and say, okay, I did all I can do, and it's my time. Yes, it's your time, but it doesn't mean that you still can't contribute to society, to your community, to your city, to your family in an active way. And that's all I had to say this morning. Just continue to live your life, and also continue to support people like myself and Portsmouth Coffee Talk, who are on social media doing the best we can to share information and just have fun and live our best life. And hopefully we can share information that might, as I mentioned, be important to you. Don't know what that was. Oh, I see. It's 9 o'clock, folks. Time for me to take some medicine. Anyway, we'll get to that. But continue to watch and make sure you stay tuned. And when we come back on Portsmouth Coffee Talk in August, I had to think about, one thing about being retired, or not working anymore, that you lose track of time, dates, and everything. So you really have to check. But anyway, we're coming back in August, and we're going to come back and continue to do some of the things we've done for the last 3 years, and we're pepping it up a little bit, and trying to deal with subjects that are really of interest to you. Um, so stay tuned for that. And also stay tuned for what I bring to the table on another platform in the form of Slim Nation 101's podcast. Well, I just have conversations with people, with guests that I have invited, and they agreed to come on and just talk about different subjects. Sometimes it's about themselves, or a book they might have written, or a project that they're working on, or just shooting the breeze for about a half an hour. So stay tuned for that. You doing a lot of videos, trying to build that channel up before we settle into the Tuesday and Thursday mornings that we started with. But right now, the podcast is putting up videos whenever we can, and building that portfolio that is necessary to gain some traction and subscriptions on YouTube, and to gain a following on Facebook as well. And we'll be looking at other platforms that are out there. There's a lot of other platforms that are out there that not everybody knows about. So we're going to be coming to you as many ways as we can and try to reach as many people as we can, and hope that some of our shows will be inspiring. Some of our experiences that we share with the audience will be inspiring. What did I say? Aspiring? No, inspiring. And y'all, many of you heard my story, so many haven't. So every once in a while, I bring that up. And we're looking forward to bringing on a heart patient's wife that has just completed a book, and about her experience with her husband, who also had a heart transplant. And she wrote down every day during that whole experience. So she'll be coming on the not Post Coffee Talk, but the Slim Nation one-on-ones soon. Or maybe Post Coffee Talk. We don't know. We'll see which one works out as far as schedule-wise. But Slim Nation one-on-ones is basically, we want to deal with those, just what the title says, those one-on-one conversations. And Portsmouth Coffee Talk will be a general with 3 hosts. Well, I'll be serving more as the amateur producer on that show. And the featured host will be Leah Drake Stipp and Thomas the Colonel Chapman and our special guest. So we definitely looking forward to coming back with Portsmouth Coffee Talk in August. So you all have a great day, and just always remember, continue to live your life like it's golden. In your golden years, you still have worth in this society. You still are relevant. You still can find something that you can work on and contribute. You'll have a lot of, not all, but some young people that will automatically dismiss you. And we did it when we were young, not thinking that the older people could contribute, or, to be quite blunt, or some young people felt like we didn't have any worth. And we've been there. And then we grew into those older people and saw it differently. Just like the younger people now, some of them will grow into, if you live like they used to say, just live long enough and you'll be right where we are. But for the most part, it's a mutual admiration society where we respect the youth and the youth respects us. And collectively, we do some great things together. We just don't need to be putting each other down because of the age differences, and we don't think they don't have the experience, and they think we should sit down somewhere. I think we all can work together and do some great things. So, again, live your best life and continue to be friendly towards each other. And as I used to say, when I was in the hospital stays and waiting on the heart, I used to always say, because when you like that, you have a lot of time to reflect on some things that you might not think about in your everyday existence. But when you have those days, you can't get around and you have more time to think than you have or are able to be active, some really profound thoughts travel through your brain. And I used to always encourage people to smile. It's not always easy. Life can be rough, people can be cruel, but most time when you smile and just speak to someone, you never know how that might make their day. And those ones who don't respond, just say, oh, well, they just missed a blessing. They missed the blessing of a greeting, and maybe next time they won't miss it. But just give someone a smile. And most time you get that smile back, and you never know what that might do for that person the rest of the day. Just getting that smile from a friend or a stranger. World would be a better place. But we have to work on it. Take care and be aware, be informed, and most of all, be involved. Live your life. And always remember, your vote is your voice. Every vote counts. And it's going to be so important to use that vote. And while you're sitting around saying your vote doesn't count, there are people working to make sure your vote doesn't count. So don't sit back and let them succeed in taking your vote away when you decide you want to exercise it. And then you can't. First thing you have to do, you have to vote, and then you have to fight against those who are trying to take your vote away from you. It's going on out there in subtle ways in some cases, and right in your face in other cases. So be aware, be informed, and be involved. Take care. Peace.